After a fight, my GF said, "I could leave any time. Plenty of men would treat me better." She thought I would plead. I said, "Doors open." And then I watched her whole world fall apart. Hey, Reddit. My girlfriend always said she could leave any time. One weekend, I told her the door was open. She didn't believe me at first, but then she did. Things didn't go the way she thought they would. This is how it all began. Okay. Serena, 26, and I, Marcus, 29, have been together for over 3 years. We share a small 2-bedroom apartment. I work there, make good money, and have set hours. I work out 4 times a week, play soccer on Fridays and Saturdays, and when the weather is nice, I generally go trekking with the boys. Serena came into my life when I was already dealing with that issue. I never hid it. Tyler, my best friend, sent a message to our group chat 3 weeks ago. Boys' weekend. Hiking, soccer, and sleeping at my apartment. After everyone was in, Saturday was the date. I told Serena the same day. She answered, "Okay, whatever. No problem." Now it's the Friday night before the vacation. I'm putting my shorts, cleats, water bottle, and hoodie in my duffel bag. Serena walks in with her phone like she's preparing to read my charges in court tomorrow. She says, "We're going to brunch with my sister, then Bed Bath & Beyond, and maybe the new outlet mall." I glance up. "You're going." "I've got the trip." She blinks. "What vacation?" "The one I told you about 3 weeks ago. Chat with a group. Do you remember?" Her face does this sluggish, angry thing. "So, instead of spending time with me, you're gonna hang out with your little boy band?" I zip up the duffel. "Yes, pretty much." She puts her arms across her chest. "I already told Emily that we're coming, Marcus. She is waiting for you. Then let Emily know I'm not." Simple solution. Serena's voice gets harsh. "You can't be serious. You'd rather be on a hill with Tyler than help my family." I shrug. Tyler doesn't question me about throw pillows. So yes, her jaw drops like I just told her I did something illegal. "Do you even care about us?" "We don't do brunch. Brunch is pancakes with more work." That's when she slaps me with it. "A lot of guys would treat me better than you do. I can leave whenever I choose." I throw the duffel over my shoulder. Okay, the doors are open. Not ranting or being sarcastic, just stating the facts. That was new for Serena. She would usually say the line, "I'd change my mind and promise her dinner next week or something." This time, I just strolled past her with my phone charger. She walks with me to the door. "Are you really choosing this over me? Not getting ambushed the night before?" "Yes." Her voice gets higher. "You're being selfish. The calendar said it was Saturday. Brunch was not." She puts her hands up like a referee made a mistake. "I promise you, Marcus, that one day you'll wake up and realize you lost the best thing you ever had. That's cool. Send me a text with the date so I can set an alarm." I walk to my car. She cries, "Don't bother coming back if you can't make time for me." I gesture at the door without looking back. "Babe, it's already open." Serena always has to have the last word. If she hadn't been coming back for extra rounds, half of our fights could have ended 10 minutes sooner. I learnt a long time ago that I shouldn't play. While I'm driving to Tyler's, I send a message to the group chat. "After this journey, I might be single. Bring more beer." Tyler says, "She pulled the line." Yep, classic. I get to Tyler's house around 9. He sits on the porch with 2 other guys, Dan and Chris, talking about whether we should start with the lengthy trail or play soccer first. Just normal things. No problems. Tyler has camping gear heaped up near the door inside. "Are you okay?" he asks. "Fine." She's mad. "Doors open?" He chuckles. Savage. I put my luggage down in the corner. "No, I'm just tired of being made to feel bad for having a life outside of candle stores." We play some FIFA on his old Xbox, eat leftover pizza, and plan for tomorrow. My phone buzzes again. Serena. I turn it over so the back is facing up. She can wait to finish typing her speech. Tyler can see the screen light up. "Are you going to read that?" "No." He smiles. "Steel man. The script is the same. I choose anything over her. She says she will go. I give in. The cycle starts over. Not this time. Dan thinks that if you call her bluff, she will really move out. I don't think so. Rents are too exorbitant. But before noon tomorrow, she'll post a mysterious quote about self-worth. Everyone chuckles because they all know it's true. Serena enjoys the audience almost as much as the debate. I fall asleep on Tyler's couch around midnight. I look at my phone before I go to bed. Sure enough, Serena sent me an SMS. Don't think I'll wait for you to play with your buddies like a teenager forever. I plug in the phone, flip it over, and open the doors. At 6:30 the next morning, we're loading Tyler's truck. Backpacks, coolers, and cleats. Serena hasn't contacted me back, but I see a new post on her story. Know how much you are worth. Sad eyes, sloppy bun, and a selfie. Dan notices it behind me. Oh no, problems in paradise. I say that paradise was cancelled. We got in the car, rolled down the windows, and the GPS yelled at us for missing exits. Chris is upset about the price of gas. I feel good, calm, and like someone shut off the noise in my head. Tyler says, if she really leaves, you can crash at mine until you figure things out. I answer, thanks. Not sure I'd need to, but it's good to know I have options. The sun is up and the air is warm by the time we get to the trailhead. I put my phone in the glove compartment. Serena can wait till Sunday to finish what she's working on, but we hit the trail by 8:15. Me, Tyler, Dan, Chris, and Matt, who met us there. There are 5 of us. The weather is nice with clear skies and a little breeze. It's excellent for trekking. Tyler gives out granola bars from his bag. No one talks about relationships or drama. Talk about work, sports, and silly memes. Seems normal. My phone is always on mute. Take a quick look at it. Serena called twice and didn't answer. 3 messages. I don't open them. Put it back in my pocket. Dan sees. Are you in trouble? It's not my problem right now. He agrees. Doesn't push. There are around 4 miles of trails. Not too insane, but some parts are rather steep. Tyler almost trips over a route because he's chatting about fantasy football. Every Saturday morning. Not hard at all. There are benches at the summit where you may look out. We sit down and pass around water bottles. Matt makes a joke about how Chris seems like he's preparing to propose to the view because he is snapping so many pictures. Everyone laughs. We spend around 20 minutes up there before coming back down. My phone buzzes again while we're out strolling. Another look at the text. You can't just not talk to me all day. I don't pay attention to it anyway. Next up is soccer. We get to the park around lunchtime. A game of pickup in the area. Not a big deal. We divided into 2 groups. Dan and Chris are up against myself, Tyler, and Matt. 2 random guys were already there. 5 points wins the first game. Tyler plays defense like he's trying out for a brick wall. I'm out of practice, yet I get 2 goals. People yelling scores, sweat, dirt, and grass stains. The antithesis of Serena's passive-aggressive statements at home. I look at my phone during breaks. Serena has written another story. It's crazy how certain people show you what's important to them. A picture of an omelet that looks like it was eaten at breakfast with her sister. Tyler can see over my shoulder. She is milking the compassion angle like it owes her money. Do you care? Not really. We have 2 more games to play. You win 1 and lose 1. No one keeps track of the score. We say around 3. Everyone is hungry. We stop by a pizza establishment close to Tyler's flat. Cheap slices, huge tables, and menus with grease smears on them. Great. Matt gets entirely too much food. Says leftovers are for dinner. There won't be any food left over. Chris asks, what's the plan when you get home? Are you going to apologize to her or what? I shake my head. Nope. 3 weeks ago, I told her the schedule. She tried to amend it at the last minute. Not going to play that game. Dan says she's going to be angry. There is always something that makes her angry. Tyler says, the difference is that you're usually sorry by now. I say, not this time. We eat the rest of the pizza. Matt does leave 2 slices for later, though. Not much. Back at Tyler's by 5. Everyone falls asleep in the living room. Some folks are looking at their phones, and others are sleeping. Tyler starts the Xbox up again. Starts a new FIFA game with Chris. I sit on the floor and check my phone for the first time all day. Serena sent me 8 texts, 3 calls that were missed. The last one says, "Just say you don't want this relationship." I hung up, not answering at the moment. People start to leave around 7. Matt has a long drive ahead of him. Chris has dinner with his family. If Dan wakes up from his pre-workout snooze, he says he might go to the gym later. Tyler and I are staying. He lives here. Tonight, I'm on the couch. We get our groceries from the corner store. Eggs, rice, chicken, and other snacks that aren't very good. While music plays from his laptop, make dinner in his small kitchen. A simple lunch, nothing special. Tyler says, "So what if she really leaves?" While we eat. Then she leaves. Is that okay with you? It's better than living with someone who threatens it every week. He slowly shakes his head. Okay. After supper, I take a shower and then sit on the couch and go at employment ads for no reason. It's something I used to do when I worked on my own. Serena sends another text. "When you get home, can we talk?" I don't answer. Tyler is using his laptop to search for apartments for rent. He turns the screen toward me. "This one is in your building. Good pricing." I look at it. "Why are you looking?" "Considering moving. Nearer to work. We may also drive together to the gym." That's a good concept. He saves it as a bookmark. The lights are off by 10 o'clock. Save for the TV. In the background, a crime program is playing. There is no sound coming from my phone on the coffee table. I think about how calm the day was before I go to sleep. No fighting, no drama, just hiking, soccer, and hanging out with friends. I arrived back at 6:30 on Sunday night. Serena was seated on the couch with her arms folded and the TV on but turned off. That look she gets while she's thinking about how to make a case. "Did you have a good weekend?" she inquired without looking at me. I said yes and put my luggage down beside the door. "Good times. Hiking, playing soccer, and eating pizza." She picked up the remote and turned the volume down even further, as if it wasn't already quiet. "You couldn't text me back even once." I proceeded to the kitchen and opened the door of the fridge. I saw the texts and then I didn't have anything fresh to add. She turned her head quickly toward me. "Boyfriends should check in with their girlfriends. Marcus, it's called respect." I took a bottle of water. "Normal girlfriends don't organize brunches on top of plans they made 3 weeks ago." She squinted her eyes. I said, "So, this is my fault? You're the one who's mad about plans you knew about?" As I leaned on the counter, she got up as if the couch was on fire. "Do you even care if this relationship works out? Because you treat me like I'm a burden." I drank some and put the bottle down. "I care enough to ask for basic planning. That's all. No more last-minute threats." She put her hands on her hips. "Ultimatums? You told me the night before that I was going to brunch with my family. I won't cancel things at the last minute just because you tell me to." Her voice went up a notch. "You make it sound like I'm in charge of you." I shrugged. "You do." That hurt since she didn't answer right away. I walked by her to get my luggage from the door. "Hey, do you want to do something next weekend? Let me know before Friday night." "I'm busy, though." She walked down the corridor after me. "It seems like you're blaming me for this. Like you didn't just leave me alone all weekend." I halted at the door of the bedroom. "You keep saying the same thing." I meant it when I said the doors would open. She opened and closed her mouth. She didn't think I would say it again so flatly. I threw my soiled clothing in the hamper and got some clean ones for the gym tomorrow. She stood in the doorway and watched me. "What does that mean? You don't even feel bad?" she finally asked. "No," I said, folding a shirt. "Plans are important. It's important to respect other people's time. You can't blow that up and then act like a victim." She crossed her arms more tightly. "You sound like a robot or someone who is sick of hearing the same threat every time you argue." That made her quiet again. I took out my phone and opened the Notes app. "Line up. Trip on the weekend." She attempted brunch at the last minute. More threats. Automatically marked with a date. She saw me type. "What are you up to?" I said, "Keeping track. It makes it easier to spot patterns." "Patterns?" "Yes. Threats, fights, and guilt trips. It helps me remember things clearly." She looked angry. You are amazing. Thanks, I said, setting the phone down. She stormed off toward the living room. I heard the TV volume spike. I started meal prepping in the kitchen. Chicken, rice, broccoli. 3 containers lined up on the counter. Serena peeked in halfway through. Since when do you cook like this? She asked. Since I decided to save money and eat better. For who? For me. She made a face like that was a personal attack. So now you're some health nut. No, I said, seasoning the chicken. Just tired of takeout. She didn't have a comeback for that either. While the food cooked, I set my gym plan on the fridge with a magnet. Monday push, Wednesday pull. Friday legs simple clear. Serena wandered in again while I was packing the meals. Are we going to talk about this? We are talking, I said, snapping a lid on a container. You know what I mean about us? I stacked the meals in the fridge, then stopped threatening to leave every week. She threw her hands up. So this is my fault again. You keep saying you can leave anytime, I said. I'm letting you know it's true. She stared at me like she expected me to back down. I didn't. Finally, she huffed and grabbed her phone. I can't with you right now. Okay, I said, wiping down the counter. She stomped off to the bedroom and shut the door harder than necessary. I set my alarm for 6:30, laid out my gym clothes, packed my work bag. Whole evening felt calm on my end. Around midnight, the bedroom door cracked open. Serena stood there, arms crossed again. So, you're just gonna go to bed without fixing this? Yep, I said, brushing my teeth. You don't even care. I care enough to want a normal conversation, not threats. She scowled. You're impossible. Good night, Serena. I shut off the light. First time in months, I didn't stay up arguing. Monday after work, I hit the gym like planned, chest and shoulders. Nothing special. Just stuck to my program. When I got back, Serena was on the couch scrolling her phone. Screen brightness all the way up like she wanted me to see it. She didn't say hi, just turned the screen toward me, real casual. Some guy named Brad had left heart emojis on her photo from last night. Same guy she accidentally mentioned once before. I tossed my keys in the bowl by the door. Cool. Her eyebrow twitched. That's all you have to say? Yep. She waited like she thought I'd start an argument. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a protein shake from the fridge. You don't care some guy's flirting with me? She called after me. I leaned on the counter. If they're better, why are you still here? She didn't answer that one. Just made a face like I'd ruined her punchline. The rest of the evening stayed quiet. She tried a few times. We need to talk. Why are you so cold lately? But I kept it short. No yelling, no long speeches. By Wednesday, she tried a new tactic. Showed me another post, this time from some dude named Chase. He took me to lunch once, she said. Like that was supposed to mean something. Great, I said, lacing up my shoes for the gym. Great, she repeated louder. Yeah, you said you had options. Sounds like they're keeping busy. She stared like she couldn't decide if I was serious or not. I grabbed my bag and left before she figured it out. At the gym, Tyler was finishing deadlifts. You look calm, he said. I feel calm. She easing up other way around. Now it's the jealousy games. He racked his weights. Classic. Next, she'll send her friend to call you. Wouldn't surprise me. I hit my sets, showered, went home. Sure enough, phone buzzed an hour later. Unknown number. Hey, this is Jade, the voice said when I answered. Serena's best friend. She's really upset, Marcus. What are you doing? Going to bed early, I said. You know she doesn't mean that stuff about leaving, right? She just says it when she's mad. Then tell her to drop the weekly ultimatum. Jade hesitated. You're being harsh. I'm being clear, I said, and hung up. Next morning, Serena was all sunshine. Made pancakes, coffee, even packed my lunch. Like the weekend fight never happened. Morning, she said sweetly. Morning, I said, grabbing the lunch bag. You like the pancakes? Fine, she said with a smile that was too big. Maybe we could have a date night on Friday. Just us. Friday. I've got soccer, I answered, looking at my calendar. She looked like a balloon that had been popped. Always something else with you lately. Then plan ahead next time. Her jaw tightened. You're impossible. You know that? Been hearing that a lot, I said, grabbing my keys. Work stayed busy that day. Extra project landed on my desk. Small pay bump if I finished it by next week. Perfect timing. More hours, less time for drama. After work, I threw together a quick batch for the week. Serena hovered like she wanted to start another fight. "You're obsessed with this cooking thing," she said finally. "I like saving money," I said, weighing out rice. "And what? Eating like a bodybuilder? Eating like someone who plans ahead." She rolled her eyes, stormed off to the bedroom. Door slammed. I cleaned up and checked my phone. Tyler had texted an apartment listing. "Still open," he wrote. "Cheaper than what you're paying now." I saved it. Didn't say anything to Serena about it yet. Friday came. After work, I headed straight to soccer. Serena texted twice. "Are we hanging out?" And guess not. I left them unread. Game went long. We won by 1 point. Tyler cracked jokes the whole time about my marriage counseling through cardio. Afterward, we grabbed burgers near the field. Tyler asked, "She's still doing the option parade?" "Yes, Brad, Chase, and anyone else she can name drop." He shook his head. "She's trying to get a rise out of you. She's going to be waiting a while." Saturday morning, Serena tried one more angle. Walked into the kitchen, holding her phone out like evidence. "Brad says I should leave you. He says I deserve better." I poured coffee. "So leave." She froze. "That's it. That's all you have to say." "Doors open," I said, sipping the coffee. Her face went red. "You're unbelievable." "Thanks," I said, setting the mug down. She stormed off again. Tyler texted an hour later. "Apartment guy says he can show it Monday if you want." "Yeah," I wrote back. "Book it." Serena posted another story that afternoon. Funny how some people only realize what they had when it's gone. I didn't reply. I just saw the preview and moved on. A few weeks later, Thanksgiving at her parents' place. Serena had planned it ahead. Big table, turkey in the oven, her mom, Linda bustling around with side dishes, her dad, Robert, carving ham, her sister, Emily, already halfway into the rolls. Serena insisted we come. I said, "Fine." We got there early evening. Serena barely spoke to me on the drive over. Just scrolled her phone and sighed loud enough for me to hear it. Inside, the place smelled like stuffing and gravy. Football on the TV in the background. Relatives everywhere. Her parents, Emily, her Uncle Steve, Aunt Carol, a couple cousins I didn't know well. Big holiday vibe. We sit. Food's getting passed around. Small talk about work, the weather, Emily's new job. Serena keeps leaning back like she's waiting for her moment. It comes halfway through the meal when Linda smiles and says, "So, you two seem quiet. Is everything okay?" Serena drops her fork like she's been holding it for this. "Depends who you ask." I keep eating mashed potatoes. Robert looks up. "Something wrong?" Serena stares right at me. Marcus has been distant. Barely texts me back. He's always off doing his own thing. Soccer, gym, whatever excuse he can find. I sip water. "You mean the weekend I told you about 3 weeks ago? The one you tried to replace with brunch the night before?" She glares. "See? Always twisting things." Emily sets down her fork. "Wait, you scheduled over his plans?" "It was brunch, Emily." Serena snaps with family. Normal couples spend time together. I set my glass down. Normal couples also don't threaten to leave every time they don't get their way. The table goes quiet. Even the cousins stop chewing. Robert frowns. "Threaten to leave?" "Yep," I say calmly. Her favorite line. "Plenty of guys would treat me better. I could walk out whenever I want." Last heard it Friday. Serena's face turns red. "You're making it sound worse than it is." Emily laughs. "Pretty sure it sounded exactly like that." "Whose side are you on?" Serena snaps. Emily shrugs. "Just saying what it sounds like." Serena looks back at her mom. "See, he's turning everyone against me." I cut another piece of turkey. "I'm just eating dinner. You're the one giving speeches." Serena glares at me. "You act like I'm crazy for wanting to be prioritized." I point my fork at her. "No, you act like the world ends if you're not prioritized over everything. Work, friends, hobbies, basic peace of mind." Linda tries to change the subject to football, but Serena won't let it go. He doesn't even care if I leave. She says, eyes on me. Door's been open since Friday, I say, calm as ever. Her jaw drops. You don't even deny it. Why would I? You keep saying it like it's your catchphrase. Robert sets down his fork. If you tell someone you can leave anytime, don't be surprised if they start believing you. Serena looks at him like he just kicked her puppy. Wow. Thanks, Dad. She glares at the whole table now. Unbelievable, all of you. I grab another roll. Yeah, we're the problem. She slams her napkin down. I'm leaving. Serena storms out, heels clicking across the hardwood like gunfire. After dinner, I head outside. Serena's in the car, arms crossed, glaring out the windshield. The second I start driving, she goes off. You made me look insane in front of my whole family. I keep my eyes on the road. You gave them the full show yourself. They think I'm the problem now. Maybe stop proving them right. She slaps the dashboard. You're so cold. We're just done playing along. She doesn't answer, just stares out the window the whole ride back. At home, she starts yanking clothes out of the closet into a suitcase. You moving out or just another rehearsal? I ask, leaning on the doorway. Maybe I will move out, she snaps. Want me to text a mover number? She spins around. You're impossible. Thanks, I say, grabbing a bottle of water from the fridge. When I arrived in on a Monday after work, Serena was already acting like a drama queen. Half of her suitcase was zipped up, her clothing were heaped on the bed, and her music was blaring loudly, like in a movie. You really don't care, do you? She replied with her arms crossed. I put my keys down. You've been packing for 3 days. At some point, it's either moving or cosplay. Her eyes furrowed. I can't afford a place on my own right now, but maybe I should leave anyway, just to prove a point. I leaned against the door. What point? That rent is high. Already knew that. She took another fistful of garments. You make me feel like I don't belong. I told you to calm down. You threaten to leave every week, which makes you feel that way. I ultimately stopped fighting. She stopped in the middle of the pack, as if she didn't expect that. I went to the kitchen and began to cook dinner. Chicken, rice, and broccoli are the same things you always make. She came in behind me with her arms crossed. She said, You can't be serious. Thanks, I said, adding spices to the chicken. Most guys would fight for their girlfriend, but most girlfriends wouldn't treat leaving like a hobby. She made a noise that sounded like she was offended and stormed back to the bedroom. I made dinner, cleaned up, and went to bed. 10 minutes later, she came out with her phone in her hand like a weapon. Brad says I can stay with him if I need to, she said. Cool, I said, looking through my emails. That's all you have to say. If he's better, why are you still here? She huffed, grabbed her purse, and slammed the door on her way out. Tyler texted right after. Apartment guy says showing at 6 o'clock tomorrow works. You in? Yeah, I wrote back. Next day, we met the landlord at the complex. Place was smaller than mine, but decent. 2 bedrooms, newer appliances, close to the gym. Tyler liked it immediately. I'll take it, he said after the walkthrough. Landlord smiled. You 2 roommates? Nope, I said. I'm staying where I am. Tyler looked at me. Wait, so she moves out? I move in next door. That's cold. I shrugged. Timing worked out. Back at my apartment, Serena was on the couch scrolling her phone. I told her Tyler took the open unit. She looked up fast. He's moving here next week? I said, her mouth tightened. So, you're replacing me with your friend? No, I said, grabbing my gym bag. Just continuing life without threats. She glared. You really don't care if I leave. Door's still open, I said, heading out. At the gym, Tyler laughed when I told him. She's gonna hate living alone. She wanted options, I said, loading plates on the bar. Yeah, he smirked. Options with $1,200 rent. After lifting, I hit the store for groceries, then went home. Serena was in the bedroom packing again. This is toxic, she said as I walked by. Then leave, I said, setting bags on the counter. She stomped out. You're seriously okay with this? Same script for months. Either do it or drop it. I'm done reacting. She didn't answer. Next morning, She asked if I'd cover half her rent for a few months until things settle. No, I said, tying my shoes for work. Wow, real supportive. You want independence or not? She glared but didn't push it. By Thursday, she found a studio across town. Cheap old building, nothing special. She signed the lease and started moving small stuff over that night. About a week later, she started touring units closer to my building. I helped carry one box to her car. Just one. You don't care at all, do you? She asked, slamming the trunk. I care enough to want peace, I said. Haven't had that in a while. She drove off without answering. Weekend came. Tyler started moving into the unit next door. We carried boxes up the stairs, set up his couch, fixed a wobbly table leg. Serena showed up halfway through to grab more of her stuff. She looked around at Tyler's things. So, this is it replaced in one weekend. Nobody replaced you? I said, carrying a box past her. You left? She crossed her arms. I didn't think you'd actually let me. I shrugged. Actions, consequences. She muttered something under her breath, loaded her car, and drove off again. By Sunday, my apartment felt different. Quiet. No passive-aggressive sighing, no slam doors, no random speeches about brunch plans. Tyler knocked on my door later. Neighbors now, he grinned. Yep, I said. He handed me a spare key to his place. Gym at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Works for me. We set up a weekly routine. Gym 3 times a week. Soccer on Fridays, 1 weekend a month for hiking. Apartment complex started feeling like a campus with 2 units instead of 1. Meanwhile, Serena posted pictures of her new independent life online. Same captions every time. Fresh start. Knowing my worth, focusing on me. Tyler laughed when he saw one. She acting like she left you. She left, I said, shrugging. Just not the way she wanted. Late night messages started the next week. First one at 11:42 p.m. Can we talk? I didn't reply. Second one 2 days later. I miss what we had. Still didn't reply. Next night, she actually called. I let it ring, but she left a voicemail. Voice shaking like she'd been crying. Said Brad wasn't who she thought he was, that things weren't working out the way she planned. I just put my phone face down on the counter and kept packing meals for the week. For the first time in months, everything felt simple and quiet. And 2 weeks after Serena moved out, life felt completely different. No slam doors, no late-night lectures, no last-minute demands. Apartment stayed clean. Fridge stayed stocked. Gym routine stayed solid. Tyler and I had a good system. Monday, Wednesday, Friday lifts. Saturday soccer. Sundays were errands and meal prep. Work picked up too. My boss handed me a new project after seeing the last one finished early. Small bonus hit my account. I ordered a new set of weights for the apartment and fixed the leaky faucet Serena used to complain about, but never called the landlord for. Serena, meanwhile, posted nonstop. Independent woman life captions with pictures of instant noodles and one folding chair in her studio apartment. One night, Tyler showed me a post. Sometimes the best thing you can do is start over. He raised an eyebrow. She okay? She wanted options. I said, lining up meal prep containers. He smirked. Bet the options went quiet once rent showed up. I didn't answer. Late night texts started soon after. First one at 12:14 a.m. I can't sleep. Miss you. I didn't reply. Next night. Maybe we could talk. Just as friends. Still didn't reply. By the weekend, she called twice. I let it ring. Tyler saw the screen light up. She doesn't give up easy. Huh? Doors open, I said. Sealing another container. Just not for the same person anymore. Saturday afternoon, we had our usual soccer game. Afterward, we grilled at Tyler's place. Steaks, vegetables, simple stuff. Music played low from a speaker. Everyone hung out laughing, swapping stories about work and gym fails. Whole evening felt easy. Around 9 o'clock, I ran back to my place to grab more drinks from my fridge. That's when I saw Serena in the parking lot standing by her car. She spotted me immediately. Marcus. I set the drinks on my hood. Hey, that's all you have to say. I shrugged. What's up? She crossed her arms. We need to talk. I unlocked my door. About us, she said. About what happened. I leaned on the car. Pretty sure it already happened. Her jaw tightened. You really don't care, do you? You left? I said calmly. You made speeches about it for months. Then you did it. What's left to care about? She took a step closer. I made a mistake. I shook my head. No, you made about 20. Same one on repeat. Her voice cracked like she was about to cry, but no tears came. We had 3 years, Marcus. 3 years of hearing how plenty of guys would treat you better, I said. Guess they're busy now. She glared. You're cruel. No, I said, grabbing the drinks off the hood. I'm just not playing the game anymore. She looked toward Tyler's unit where music and laughter drifted out. So what? You just replace me with your friends? They were here before you left, I said. Difference is they don't threaten to bail every week. She didn't have a comeback for that. I opened my door. Take care, Serena. Wait, she said quickly. We could try again. Start over, I paused. Why? So we can run the same script next month. I can change, she said softly. Then change, I said. But not here. Her face fell like she expected some big romantic gesture. None came. I closed the door, carried the drinks back to Tyler's. He raised an eyebrow when I walked in. That her? Yeah. What did she want? Duver. He smirked. You give her one? Not at all. Everyone else kept talking about work and sports as if nothing had happened. Serena finally left. The next week, I saw her in the lobby showing off a cheap one-bedroom apartment on the first floor of our building. Marcus, she said like we were old friends. I nodded. Looking at places? She shrugged. Maybe. Tyler and I got game night Friday? It's close to you, I said, pointing upstairs. Should be fun. She shifted her bag on her shoulder. We could talk before then. Maybe I could come by, join you guys. I shook my head. Not a good idea. Her eyebrows pulled together. Why not? Because it's game night, I said. For people who don't threaten to leave every week. She opened her mouth, closed it, looked at the floor. So that's it. That's it, I said, pushing the door open. Take care, Serena. Friday came. Tyler hosted game night. Cards, board games, some coworkers, couple neighbors, music, food, laughter, whole building probably heard us. Around 10, someone knocked on my door. Serena again. I stepped outside, closed it behind me. She looked tired. I miss you, she said simply. I leaned on the railing. Miss me or miss rent help? Her eyes flashed. Wow, I shrugged. You wanted independence? You got it? She looked toward the parking lot. If I leave now, that's it. No second chances. Doors open, I said. Just not for you anymore. She didn't answer. I went back inside. Music got louder. Tyler handed me a drink. Handled? Handled? I said. Game night kept going. Cards slapped the table. People laughed. Someone yelled about cheating, even though nobody was keeping score. Later, walking back to my place, I realized it was the first month in years without a single threat, fight, or guilt trip. Quiet felt good. Door stayed open.